Airports are not places where people usually find memories coming back to life. But on that day, amid the hurried footsteps of passengers and the incessant echo of departure announcements, there was something different, something hanging in the air like a story that refused to end. Bai Jingting arrived early, walking leisurely but looking a little tired, like someone whose mind was preoccupied. He carried only a black backpack and wore earphones, as if trying to shut out the outside world. But in reality, he couldn't really escape from himself. Sometimes he stared at his phone screen without focus, then looked ahead again, like someone who was looking for something he himself didn't know what it was. On the other side of the terminal, Zhang Ruonan had just gotten out of a car. She wore a white hoodie that made her face look even softer, with her hair partly tied up and partly falling onto her cheeks. She looked like someone trying to maintain her composure, but her eyes betrayed a weariness that only people who had been holding something in for too long possessed. She walked with her staff, but her presence still carried an indescribable warmth. Some people recognized her, some just stared because of her natural charm, but she walked without looking back, as if she was used to being the center of attention but never really wanted it. No one expected that on that day, two people who had once shared time, laughter, and stories in silence would meet again. They didn't know that they would be at the same airport, at almost the same time, so close to each other. But the universe often has its own way of bringing together two hearts that still hold something, whether it be memories that never fade or feelings that are deliberately hidden. Bai Jingting's steps slowed as he entered the check-in area, and for no apparent reason, he took out one of his earphones, as if he wanted to hear the world more clearly. At the same time, Zhang Ruonan paused to adjust her hat, and in that simple moment, the two were on the same line, separated only by a few steps and a sea of people who had no idea what was about to happen. When their eyes finally met, time seemed to stop. Bai Jingting blinked, as if he couldn't believe what he had just seen. Zhang Ruonan froze for a moment, her body tensing slightly before she finally took a short breath that only she could hear. No words were spoken, no greetings exchanged, but that gaze took them back to a time when their laughter echoed each other, when their conversations flowed so naturally, when the distance between them never felt far. Everything they thought had been buried in their busy lives reappeared in just a split second. The usually calm Bai Jingting suddenly smiled slightly, a smile so subtle yet real, a smile that only appeared when someone saw someone they had once cherished. Zhang Ruonan responded in the same way, a light, unforced smile, a smile that had been missing from her face lately. There was a faint longing in their eyes, a longing that needed no explanation because they both understood. A longing that did not always mean wanting to return, but a longing that showed how deeply someone had once lived in their hearts. The footsteps of the people around them continued, but they remained silent, as if only the two of them existed in the world. Bai Jingting finally moved, leaning slightly toward Zhang Ruonan, giving her a small, warm nod. It was as if he was saying, "How are you?" without actually saying it. Zhang Ruonan looked down for a moment before lifting her face again, looking at Bai Jingting with eyes wet with something she did not allow to fall. She returned his nod, and in that movement, it was clear that there was an unfinished story, a sentence left unsaid, something they had once felt but never spoken. Their smiles turned into spontaneous little laughs, awkward, sweet laughs, like two people who had met after pretending to be strangers for too long. There was no long conversation, no hug, But it was precisely that simplicity that made everything feel so real, so honest. Some fans who saw it even held their breath, because the moment felt like a scene from a drama that was too beautiful to be real. Bai Jingting finally turned her face away slightly, trying to hide the blush that appeared on her cheeks, something rarely seen from her. Zhang Ruonan also smiled, biting her lip gently like someone who was holding back feelings that had suddenly become so strong. They were like two people who had once walked side by side, but were separated by time and circumstances. Two people who still remembered each other more than they admitted. When Zhang Ruonan's staff asked her to continue walking, she nodded slowly, but before she actually left, she looked back at Bai Jingting one last time. And that look was like a silent plea, like a thank you, like a small hope that had not yet been extinguished. Bai Jingting responded with a warm, sincere smile, a smile that could calm even the most restless heart. After they walked away, each step felt heavy, as if every distance created was a reminder that this meeting might just become another memory stored deep in their hearts. But both of them turned around, almost simultaneously. Zhang Ruonan turned first, then Bai Jingting a few seconds later. And when they saw each other again from a distance, there was a flash of warmth that couldn't be hidden, a silent acknowledgement that even though they were walking in different directions, something between them remained connected. Who knows what they felt at that moment? Whether it was regret, hope, or just nostalgia. But one thing was clear: the encounter was not a coincidence. There was something too soft, too strong, and too sincere in the way they looked at each other. Perhaps the universe just wanted to remind them that some relationships never really end, they just change form. Or maybe the encounter was the beginning of a new chapter that even they didn't expect to come. And when the two of them finally disappeared from each other's sight, there was a warm feeling left in the air. A feeling that made anyone who saw it believe that this world, once in a while, still holds a little magic. A brief encounter that could evoke so many emotions, a gaze that held many stories, and a moment that felt more real than anything that could be written in a drama script. Because sometimes, love doesn't need words. It only needs one moment, one glance, one unplanned encounter. And that day, amidst the bustling airport that cared nothing for anyone's story, Bai Jingting and Zhang Ruonan met again, not as actors in a drama, but as two hearts that had once found each other, and perhaps still recognized each other.